of waiting, but it was challenging for me to wait. I wanted to rush each slide. And the lack of sound sometimes makes that waiting feel even harder. How do you feel about waiting? We can take those slides down. You all did a wonderful job at waiting. So there are a host of sayings, thoughts, feelings all around the idea of waiting. Each day we encounter so many words, so many phrases, statements, and situations to which we find ourselves waiting. What do you think about? What do you feel that initial moment someone says the word wait? When you want something and you are told you have to wait, what is your initial gut response? Is it one for you of great joy, desire? Oh yes, I get to wait again. Or perhaps it's something I think is more typical. We associate waiting with a sense of being impatient, agitated, frustrated, perhaps even angry. Maybe for you, images of past visits to the DMV float before your eyes, where you're sitting anxiously in a seat holding a ticket that reads D375. You glance up and see that they are now serving A47 and G234, and you wonder where you even are in the scheme of waiting, not to be specific. How do you feel about waiting when you're waiting for something that you want? We have become a people of immediacy. We often don't like waiting, and I think this is partially because we're just not used to waiting anymore. As I reflected on waiting this week, I think one of the largest things that I thought about was in photography. When I first started in photography, I picked up a 35 millimeter camera at a flea market. I would put film in it, and I would take pictures for several weeks, and I had no idea what they looked like. There was no little window on the back that would let me see what my picture looked like. I had to wait. And then when I would take it to get developed, it would be a week until I got it back. I had to wait to get my film back. At the time, I don't remember that being particularly difficult. But now, if I want to take a picture, I pull out my phone, and I right away know whether my picture came out or not. That's such a big difference. And when I want to get it developed, I just walk to the printer and hit print. And if I get it professionally done, maybe I have to wait an hour. What a huge difference in the way we wait. Immediacy has become one of the best selling tactics. If people are able to advertise no waiting or no lines or anything like that, we're immediately more interested if we don't have to wait for something. So my questions for this morning are around this. If we have negative thoughts, if we have negative ideas about the idea of waiting on something, what does it mean for us during this season of Advent? Where in some ways, Advent is remembering and is celebrating waiting. As we remember waiting for the coming of Jesus. This is a season of waiting where we remember those who years ago were waiting for the coming of a king, a Messiah, a baby born in Bethlehem. And for this, they had been waiting generations. And we observe it by waiting for Christmas to come, to celebrate the birth of our Savior. Do our habits of waiting affect how we wait on the Lord? What if our waiting on the Lord is filled with the same frustration, impatience, and potentially anger that it sometimes is when we're waiting on other things? What is a biblical perspective of waiting? Well, for that, you will have to wait a few minutes. The way that we've set up our service this morning, and this was unintentional, is that it's in chunks. And so for the next piece of the sermon, you will have to wait. I will invite Greg and the praise team forward as we get ready to do another section of bringing our gifts. And even in this, it's set up in ways that you will have to wait, because some will bring their gifts forward, and others will have to wait to do that. So throughout the service, I invite you to continue reflecting on what it means to wait.